in order to really get the wisdom behind what we're going to talk about. So I'll invite Anthony to lead us into a meditative prayer.
All is well, all is well, all is well here and now. All is well here and now. All is well, all is well, all is well in this world. All is well in this world. All is well, all is well, all is well here and now. All is well here and now.
So I invite you to go within, to that secret place of the Most High, and abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I know for myself, as I know for each one here, all is well, because that one presence, that one life, that one truth we call God, is in each and every one of us, part of each and every one of us, and expresses uniquely through each and every one of us as our own special individual self. So I now invite you to just let go of all thought, of everything except the present moment. And slowly and gently, as you let go, give yourself permission to experience the full essence of your being, that human self that brings power through the motion and feeling, that spiritual self with its own unique identity, which just pulsates within us with power. And then that universal energy that's everywhere present, all encompassing, and part of each and every one of us right here and right now. And each one has an energy field we know is an aura. So I invite you right now to take a few moments in silent meditation, just to allow your human, spiritual, and universal power to move through you unencumbered and well up within you. And I know that each one of us shares in that same universal power. I know each one of us pulsates at the soul level with our own unique pulsation. And I know each one of us expresses power through our feeling and emotion at the human level in our own individual way. Today, let us choose to be an open, clear, free-flowing channel of God's love, energy, wisdom, kindness, and prosperity. And let us know that that which we do, that which we say, and that which we experience, we do so for our greatest good and the greatest good of all concerned. Knowing that with the Spirit as our guide, we experience peace, prosperity, fulfillment, and happiness. And we give thanks. And so it is.
All is well, all is well, all is well, here and now. All is well, here and now. All is well, all is well, all is well in my soul. All is well in my soul. All is well, all is well, all is well in
Did you feel it? It was yours that you felt and shared. And then we create collective energy by doing that. But the key is to acknowledge our own individual power. Nobody has any more power than anybody else. It can't be that way, folks, because there is only one power. However, we all channel it differently. That's the key. And that's the theme is power. And to take it right off the top, power has got nothing to do with power and control over people or things. It's got to do with understanding the natural power and energy that we have available to us, universal, spiritual, and human. The affirmation unity provides is I have the power to create my world. I add, I am capable, confident, and courageous in all that I do. And that's a claim of your own personal power. You know, this present moment thing, I remember one of the most profound talks that I ever heard with respect to this. And it was by a gentleman who was a unity minister, who was a mentor of mine that I followed all of his teachings and work. and that, and had a couple of personal 3 or 4 sessions with him and everything. And his name, you might have heard of him, his name was Jack Boland. If you haven't, look him up. It's well worth your time and effort. His stuff was fantastic, a fantastic individual. And of course, you know, at the end of the day, as Jim Morrison from The Doors said, nobody gets out alive. And at the end of the day, he was in his stage of passing, and he was just about ready to make the transition. And they did a setup from his hospital room and his hospital bed, and Jack gave the last talk of his life from there. A couple of days later, he was gone. And, you know, with that story in mind, I will tell you the title, and then that's it. The title of his talk was, "If Not Now, When?" Favorite quotes that I'd come across, and that's by Louise Hay. And she said, "The point of power is always in the present moment. The past is over and done and has no power over me. I can begin to be free in this moment. Today's thoughts create my future. I am in charge. I now take my own power back. I am safe and I am free." Because you see, we have to do that because one way or another, we're always giving our power away to people, place, and conditions. I remember, I'm going to tell this story, but it happened here at Unity many years ago. You were still around. You were here then, Bob, but it was up the other place. And after the end of the talk, this lady come up to me, and she proclaimed, "Reverend Doug, I gotta talk to you," just like that. "When you said that, you really hurt my feelings." Now, how do you think one would respond in the correct spiritual manner to that? Not necessarily the way one would like it, but the truth is, I said to her, "Please, please, don't give me that much power in your life. Please say, when you said that, Reverend Doug, I chose to have my feelings hurt." I never seen her again. She never said anything else, turned around and walked away. But what am I going to say? "Oh, that's okay. You know, don't worry about it. It's all right. You'll be okay." Can't do it, folks. I'm not trained that way. So, you know, sometimes the truth hurts. But you know, when we take it in and see it, then that then becomes the past and not our reality anymore, and we can move forward. Yeah, so major power zappers. So we've got that power, and again, universal power is there ready for us to open up and channel. The soul's there pulsating, and the human energy's there. If we can get them all kicking in at one time, watch out. But watch out for the power zappers that end that. Reactions. Anytime you got a reaction, you got a problem. Don't matter who's right, wrong, or indifferent. If you get a zit, little or big, no matter how dainty or how outrageous, you deal with it. You got a power. That's a zapper. Blaming, worrying, resentment, doubt, hatred, animosity. In fact, all elements of fear are power zappers. It just takes your power right away. Because really what you do is you give your power away to the fear. Because if you're entertaining the fear, that's where your power is going. And ultimately, when it does that, folks, all we're saying is we really want more of what we're afraid of. Job 3:25, that which I most greatly feared has come upon me. Okay? Power zappers. So we want to do our best to stay away from power zappers. Walking that line on the other side is faith. Calm, center, peaceful, and poised. Oh, well, that's easy to say. And you've got 45 plus years experience. Yeah, it's easy to say. And I got that much experience, and I got that much experience practicing at it, and I still go back and forth. It doesn't end, folks. You can't help it. You're a human being. You got an ego. Can't do nothing about it. Just learn how to manage it. Okay. Another thing here to think about, if you get attached to something, then you attach it to yourself. Put a chain around the neck of a man, and you put the other chain around your own wrist, because you're tied to it. You're tied to that experience. So one has to be careful what we tie ourselves to, because the point of the power is always on the present moment. The next point is the power of decision. Then the one after that's going to be the power of choice. Aren't they the same? No. The power of decision is deciding to do something. The power of choice is what are you going to do about it? Turn on the TV, have a joint, and order pizza? But I want to change and have a more productive life. So, there you go. Raymond Charles Barker, in the book Power of Decision, said decision is the most important function of the individual mind. No creative process can begin until a decision is made. Well, watch out for this one. It's called the power of indecision. Indecision means, don't matter. Whatever you decide for me is fine. And eventually you'll see somebody that does that. Have you ever seen somebody that does that more than we really should? Rather than no, have you ever done it yourself more than you really should? Yeah, because you see, the decision is not to decide and then to turn your decision making over to other people, which is really easy, because if they get it right, it's a good thing, and if they get it wrong, well, at least you didn't decide to do it. Watch out for those traps. So managing your power refers to the past in today's thought. So I want to talk about that, because in the present moment, we spend way too much time in the past and way too much time in the future. Both can be productive or not productive. But we got to watch it, because the real power is what we entertain in the present moment. So the past, it's okay to relive it if you're purging and purifying and getting rid of the negativity. Or if you're recalling something like me, I got an email from a friend who I haven't talked to in 45 years that just moved back to Canada. And so I relived some of the experiences I had with him, but not for long, because that was yesterday. It just brought it there. It was a happy moment. But you can get into reliving and then reviving the experience. I know that guy was a rotten so-and-so. I left him 10 years ago because he was like that. I saw him the other day, and don't you think he was like that? Rah, rah, rah. And you can even make it worse, more traumatic the second and third and 10th time than it was the first time, if you really work at it. And people do that. You've heard it, like, holy jeez, man. And then it's also good about reliving good events. Like, oh man, I was in heaven yesterday. I got to do the most beautiful 9K walk in the morning. And yesterday I went out for a ride on the Harley for an hour and a half. I mean, what else do you want? And I open up and look outside today, but I can remember that and enjoy it, but I don't want to go, oh, I wish it was yesterday again. Oh, it was so much fun. Do you remember, Ray, 50 years ago, how much fun we used to have? Oh, it's not like that anymore. You ever hear people, that's all they talk about, the way it used to be in the good old days? And maybe they were, but these aren't the good old days. This is today. You see, so reliving the past, good and bad, is okay if you have an intention. But dwelling upon it, reviving it, and making a big part of the day, good or bad, is not healthy. Because today is the tomorrow that we created yesterday. So we're creating tomorrow. And you can live about tomorrow and create our dreams, but you can't live them, but you got to work towards them. Okay? So that's the idea of making a decision. When you decide, then the creative process can begin. But however you go about the power of choice. Yeah, I'm going to plant a garden this summer. I'll get around to digging it up a little later. So come end of June, I'm going to put the seeds in. And you finally get the garden planted in August. And wonder why the hell you're not getting any plants that are going to produce fruit. You understand what I'm getting? You could do all of the right things, but you know you got to make the decision. And, well, how do you do it? Well, I've never known how to do anything I've ever done. I just start where I'm at. Just like Roosevelt said, start where you are with what you can, with what you have now. And as Murray in the Scottish expedition said under commitment, then all other things begin to fall in place that would have never happened before if you haven't got started. So that takes us to the power of choice. And you know, where we really get in trouble is when we start making choices based on conditions. So we all made a choice to vote. Case closed, it's over. Holy, it's not. It's not over. Well, how much time are we wasting talking about stuff like that? That's a choice. Just saying. Viktor Frankl in Man's Search for Meaning said, everything can be taken from a man, but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way. And he said, when we are no longer able to change the situation, we are challenged to change ourselves. So who's this guy that said it? Well, he spent 4 years in Auschwitz as a Jewish psychiatrist in the prison camp. So that's his perception on change. I don't think our conditions are quite that bad. Do you? Even though we just voted, the conditions are not that bad. But some people make them that bad. Holy, by occupying all of that. Choice, folks. Choice. So the question we ask ourselves, how is our power currently being directed and used? How are we directing it? Are we directing it with power or pain? So I got an example here. My brother Bob needed a wheelchair, bought it, $32,997. Benefit plan, 100% motorized wheelchair, gets $20,000. So Doug's going to take over and start writing letters, which I'm a master at, by the way. Bob says, when are you going to write the letter? Well, about 3 weeks later, you wrote the letter yet? No. He said, I don't understand. I said, Bob, right now I'm still ticked off at those guys. I'm not happy with them. I don't do action when I'm not happy with them because it's always not good. I get over here, I get clear, I write my first letter. I start at the ankle, work my way up the leg. Do the next letter, then I got the detailed one. 2 choices. Send me a letter why we don't qualify for 100% or send a check. And I want the letter in writing. or I will be notifying these people, including the CEO of your company. And by the way, this is your mission and vision statement if you haven't checked it lately. And guess what happened? Didn't want to tell me why I couldn't have it, so they sent me a check. Okay? Point. Do not act correctly from pain. You will not get the correct results that you want. And I mean correctly. Wait till you can come from power. And that's being confident and still and peaceful and coming from integrity within yourself. Whole totally different. Could be the same letter, but a different energy. And believe me, if you don't think when you put that stamp and put it in the post box that the energy doesn't go with that letter, you're wrong. I hate to tell you that, but it does. Goes with it. So we either always consciously or subconsciously by default are always choosing how we're directing that energy. And people always feel it, whether we know it or not. So make it a choice today about choosing who you're going to serve. Are you going to serve the spirit, or are you going to serve the physical? Are you going to serve an understanding of oneself to integrate the power of the universal soul and the human all as one? And when it's all going all over the place, to know which one's acting so that you can harness it and direct it.